Welcome to Life Confusions TV. Try to relax and feel the story.
If you had asked me 3 years ago who I trusted the most in this world, I would have said my family without hesitation. I was wrong. My name is Emily Carter. I'm 34 years old, and this is the story of how the two people I loved most betrayed me and how I made sure they regretted it. I grew up in a small town in Ohio. Nothing glamorous. Just quiet streets, Sunday church, and family dinners that felt like something out of a Hallmark movie. My parents raised my younger brother, Jake, and me to believe that family always comes first. And I believed that, especially when it came to Jake. He was 4 years younger than me, reckless, charming, the kind of guy who could talk his way out of anything. Teachers loved him. Girls adored him. My parents forgave him for everything. I was the responsible one, the overachiever, the one who stayed home for college to help my parents when my dad's construction business started struggling. I worked 2 jobs in my 20s. I helped cover the mortgage when my father mismanaged contracts. I co-signed a loan for Jake when he decided, at 24, that he wanted to launch a startup. That startup failed in 8 months. The loan didn't. Guess who paid it? Me. But I never complained. Because that's what family does, right? You sacrifice, you support, you forgive, and you never imagine that one day they'll look you in the eye and stab you in the back. 3 years ago, my life was finally coming together. I had moved to Chicago. I worked as a senior marketing manager for a tech company. I had my own condo, my own savings, my own stability. For the first time, I wasn't cleaning up someone else's mess. That's when Jake called me. I have the opportunity of a lifetime. I should have hung up. He told me he had a real estate investment opportunity in Austin, Texas. New development area, early buy-in, huge projected returns. He said he had investors lined up, but he needed one more partner to secure the property. He needed $80,000. I laughed at first. Then he said something that changed everything. Mom and Dad already put in their retirement savings. They believe in me. My stomach dropped. How much? I asked. Almost everything. I felt cold. Our parents were in their late 60s. They didn't have start-over money. If this failed, they'd lose their home. I asked him if he was sure. He swore he was. He sent me spreadsheets, market projections, photos of development plans. Everything looked legitimate. And here's the part that still makes me angry at myself. I didn't invest because I believed in him. I invested because I wanted to protect my parents. So I wired the money, $80,000, almost half of my savings. I told myself it wasn't blind trust. It was calculated risk. It was family. For the first 6 months, everything seemed perfect. Jake sent updates. Photos of construction progress. Contract signed. Investors excited. He even paid me a small early return, $5,000. I remember thinking, maybe he finally grew up. Maybe this is the turning point. Then the updates slowed down. Phone calls went unanswered. Emails got shorter. When I asked for detailed reports, he said he was busy closing deals. And then one day, silence. Complete silence. I tried calling him 17 times. No answer. I called my parents. That's when my mother's voice broke on the phone. Emily, we were going to tell you. My heart started pounding. Tell me what? There was a long pause. Then she said it. The property, it was never secured. I felt like the air had been sucked out of the room. What do you mean? He said the deal fell through months ago, but he thought he could recover the money with another investment. He didn't want us to worry. Another investment. I already knew what that meant. Where is the money? Silence. Then my father got on the phone. It's gone. Gone. $180,000. Their retirement. My savings. Gone. I remember sitting on my kitchen floor staring at the wall. Not crying. Not screaming. Just numb. But what hurt more than the money was what came next. 2 days later, I drove to Ohio. I needed to see him face to face. When I walked into my parents' house, Jake was sitting at the kitchen table like nothing had happened, like we were about to have Sunday dinner. He didn't look ashamed. He looked annoyed. "Why are you overreacting?" he said. "Overreacting? Where is the money, Jake? It was an investment. Investments carry risk. Don't twist this. You lied." He rolled his eyes. "I didn't lie. I pivoted." Pivoted. I felt my hands shaking. "You forged progress reports." He shrugged. "I was going to fix it." That was the moment something inside me changed. Because I realized something terrifying. He didn't feel guilty. He felt entitled. Then my mother said something that shattered whatever was left of me. "Emily, honey, maybe you shouldn't push this. He's under a lot of stress." I turned to her slowly. "Mom, he stole from us." She looked away. "He's your brother." And there it was. The truth I had ignored my entire life. Jake wasn't the golden child because he was successful. He was the golden child because he was fragile. And everyone else had to absorb the consequences of his choices. Including me. Especially me. That night, I couldn't sleep. I stayed in my childhood bedroom staring at the ceiling. Every memory replayed in my head. The loan I paid. The rent I covered. The way my parents always asked me to be understanding. And for the first time in my life, I stopped feeling responsible, and I started feeling angry. Not explosive anger. Cold anger. The kind that doesn't scream. The kind that plans. Because if there was one thing Jake underestimated, it was me. He thought I would forgive him. He thought I would be mature. He thought I would absorb the loss like I always had. But this time was different. This time, I wasn't going to clean up his mess. I was going to make sure he faced it, and I was going to get my money back. Every single dollar. Even if it meant destroying the illusion my family had built around him. And what Jake didn't know was that he had made one critical mistake. When I invested, I didn't just wire money. I signed documents. Partnership documents. Legal ones. And unlike him, I actually read them. I didn't confront him again the next morning. That would have been emotional. And emotions were exactly what Jake expected from me. Instead, I drove back to Chicago without saying goodbye. He probably thought I needed time to cool off. He had no idea I was already moving pieces into place. The first thing I did when I got home was pull up every document related to the investment. The partnership agreement. The wire confirmations. The email threads. The signed operating agreement for the LLC he created. Carter Development Group. Yes, he used our last name. I stared at that document for a long time. Because that wasn't just business. That was manipulation. He knew our parents would trust anything with Carter on it. And technically, my name was on that LLC too, as a 30% partner. Not a lender. Not a donor. A partner. Which meant something important. If funds were misused, diverted, or fraudulently represented, I wasn't just a victim. I was legally exposed. That realization made my stomach twist. Because if authorities ever investigated, I could be implicated. He hadn't just stolen my money. He had risked my reputation, my career, everything I had built. That's when the cold anger sharpened. The next day, I scheduled a consultation with a business attorney. Not a small-town lawyer. A corporate litigation specialist in downtown Chicago. I didn't tell my parents. I didn't tell Jake. I wanted facts, not family opinions. When I laid everything out on the lawyer's desk, he was quiet for a long time. Then he asked one simple question. Did you authorize any secondary investments? No. Did you receive official notice that the original property deal fell through? No. He leaned back in his chair. What your brother did could qualify as fraud and misrepresentation. Potentially wire fraud. The word fraud echoed in my head. Fraud wasn't bad decision. Fraud wasn't immature mistake. Fraud was criminal. Can I get my money back? I asked. He didn't sugarcoat it. If the funds still exist somewhere, possibly. If they've been spent, recovery becomes more complicated. But you absolutely have grounds to file a civil suit. And then he added something that made my chest tighten. If you don't act and creditors come after the LLC, you could be liable for part of the damages. So, doing nothing wasn't loyalty. It was financial suicide. That night, my mother called. "Jake says you've been distant." I closed my eyes. "I'm figuring things out. Emily, please don't take this outside the family." There it was again. Protect him. Minimize the damage. Absorb the loss quietly. "Mom," I said carefully, "did you know the first investment failed months before he told us?" She hesitated. I knew he was trying to fix things. So yes. Silence. My heart cracked a little, because that meant they knew he was lying. And they chose not to tell me. "Why didn't you warn me?" "He didn't want you to lose faith in him." I laughed. It wasn't a happy sound. "I lost $80,000. He's your brother. And I'm your daughter." That was the first time I ever said something like that. There was a long pause. Then she whispered, "Please don't ruin his future." I hung up, because that's when it became clear. In their eyes, protecting Jake was more important than protecting me. The next week, I started digging. If Jake thought I would sit quietly, he had forgotten one key thing. I work in marketing analytics. Research is what I do for a living. And people always leave digital footprints. Always. He claimed the money was reinvested. So I traced public records in Austin. No property under the LLC. No development permits. No filings beyond the initial registration. Strange for a major project. Then I checked something else. His social media. Private account, but not invisible. New car. Tesla Model X. Vacation photos in Miami. Luxury watch. Designer suits. All within the last 8 months. 8 months. The exact timeline after the property fell through. My hands went cold. He didn't reinvest the money. He upgraded his lifestyle. With ours. I sent him a simple text. "We need to talk. In person. This week." He responded an hour later. "Relax. I told you I'm handling it." Handling it. I booked a flight to Ohio anyway. When I walked into my parents' house again, the tension was thick. Jake was sitting on the couch scrolling his phone. He didn't stand up. Didn't apologize. Didn't even pretend. "I did some research," I said calmly. "Oh yeah," he smirked. "There's no property. No permits. No secondary filings." He shrugged. "Deals collapse." "And Teslas appear?" His face froze. There it was. A flicker of fear. "You went through my Instagram? You used my money." "It wasn't your money. It was an investment." I stepped closer. "You committed fraud." My father stood up immediately. "That's enough." "No," I said, without raising my voice. "It's not enough." Jake's tone shifted. "You wouldn't actually do anything. You care too much about this family." That sentence hit harder than anything else, because he was right. He believed I would protect him, the same way I always had. But something inside me had already snapped. "I've spoken to an attorney," I said. The room went silent. My mother's face went pale. Jake stared at me like I had just betrayed him. "You're suing me?" he asked. "I'm giving you a choice." His jaw tightened. "You have 30 days to repay my $80,000 in full, or I file a civil suit for fraud and misrepresentation." "You wouldn't." "I will." My father slammed his hand on the table. "You're going to destroy your brother's life over money?" I looked at him steadily. He destroyed mine first. That night was chaos. My mother cried. My father accused me of being cold. Jake called me dramatic. But none of them denied the facts. Not once. Because they couldn't. When I left, Jake followed me outside. "You think you're smarter than everyone," he hissed. "No," I replied quietly. "I just stopped letting you use me. You'll regret this." I looked at him for a long moment. "I already regret trusting you." And then I got in my car and drove away. 2 weeks passed. No payment. No proposal. No apology. Instead, I received a letter. Not from Jake. From a credit institution. The LLC had taken out a business credit line, and my name was on the documentation. My blood ran cold. He hadn't just spent our investment. He had leveraged it. Without telling me. The amount? $120,000. And it was in default. That was the moment the situation stopped being emotional and became war. Because now it wasn't about revenge. It was about survival. Jake hadn't just betrayed me. He had tried to bury me with him. And if I didn't act fast, everything I had built would collapse. But what Jake didn't know was that the partnership agreement required dual authorization for debt exceeding $50,000, which meant one thing. If my signature wasn't real, he hadn't just committed fraud. He had committed forgery. And forgery is not a family dispute. It's a felony. I didn't cry when I saw the credit notice. I didn't scream. I didn't panic. I printed it, all 12 pages. Then I drove straight to my attorney's office. When he read the documents, his expression changed. "This signature," he said slowly, turning the page toward me. "Is this yours?" It looked like mine. The curves were similar. The initial was almost perfect, but it wasn't mine. "I never signed this." He nodded once. Then this just became criminal. The room felt very quiet.
Forgery. Fraud.
Wire transfers across state lines. This wasn't just a messy family conflict anymore. This was federal territory. He folded his hands. "You have two options. 1, we send a formal demand letter and attempt settlement. 2, we file both a civil suit and submit evidence for criminal investigation." Criminal investigation. The words felt heavy. I thought about my parents, about my mother crying, about my father calling me heartless. Then I thought about my credit score, my condo, my career, my future children, everything I had worked for. And I realized something painful. Jake never thought about any of that when he forged my name. "He had 30 days, I said quietly. "Yes." He ignored it. "Yes." "Then we file." The demand letter went out first. Professional, precise, devastating. It outlined the original $80,000 investment, fraudulent misrepresentation, undisclosed loss of primary asset, unauthorized reallocation of funds, forged signature on a $120,000 credit line, total exposure, $200,000 plus damages. He had 10 business days to respond. The explosion at home was immediate. My phone rang nonstop. First, my mother. "How could you involve lawyers?" I didn't involve them. Jake did when he forged my name. He was desperate. He was dishonest. Then my father. "You're going to send your brother to prison?" "I'm trying to prevent myself from financial ruin." "You're choosing money over family." I finally said what I had swallowed my entire life.
No.
"I'm choosing myself over being your family's safety net." Silence. Then he hung up. Jake called that night.
Not angry.
Not arrogant. Afraid.
"You went too far," he said.
"You forged my signature. It was just paperwork. I was going to pay it back." "With what money?" He didn't answer. "Did you think I wouldn't find out? I thought you'd understand." That sentence almost made me laugh. Understand.
He lied. He stole.
He forged. And he expected understanding. "You have 8 days left," I said calmly. "After that, it's out of my hands." "Emily," his voice cracked slightly. "If you do this, Mom will never forgive you." There it was. The final weapon. Emotional blackmail. And for a second it worked. Because the little girl in me still wanted approval. Still wanted to be the good daughter. But then I remembered something. When the investment collapsed, they didn't warn me. When he lied, they protected him. When my credit was at risk, they asked me to stay quiet. They had already chosen. Now it was my turn. "I can live without forgiveness," I said. "I can't live with fraud on my record." And I hung up. 5 days later, something unexpected happened. A woman named Claire emailed me. She introduced herself as Jake's ex-girlfriend. Subject line: "You deserve to know." My heart pounded as I opened it. She had been with him during the investment period. She attached screenshots, bank transfer confirmations, casino withdrawals, crypto purchases, luxury hotel bookings, all from the LLC account. The real estate investment? It never even reached escrow. He pulled the funds out within 3 weeks of receiving them. My hands were ice cold as I scrolled. There it was. Proof. Not bad luck. Not failed investment. Not desperation. Lifestyle spending. On gambling. On image. On ego. I forwarded everything to my attorney immediately. His reply came 10 minutes later. This changes everything. Day 10 arrived. No payment. No settlement proposal. So we filed. Civil lawsuit for fraud, breach of fiduciary duty, and damages. And my attorney submitted documentation regarding the forged signature to the appropriate authorities. I didn't announce it. I didn't post about it. I didn't tell extended family. But news travels fast in small towns. Within a week, my aunt called me. "How could you do this to your own brother?" I was calm. How could he do this to his own sister? She had no answer. Then came the moment I didn't expect. My mother showed up at my condo unannounced. She looked smaller somehow. Tired. "Drop it," she whispered the moment I opened the door. I stepped aside to let her in. "He could go to jail," she said. "He committed a felony. He's your brother. And I'm your daughter." Tears filled her eyes. "You're tearing this family apart." I took a deep breath.
No, Mom.
"The family broke the moment you decided his mistakes mattered less than my stability." She stared at me like she didn't recognize me. Maybe she didn't, because the version of me who always fixed things was gone. "I protected him because he needed it," she said weakly. "And who protected me?" She had no answer. That was the first time in my life I saw doubt in her eyes. Not anger, not defense.
Doubt.
2 months later, everything escalated. The bank conducted its own internal review. The forged signature was confirmed. The case was referred for further investigation. Jake called me again, but this time, he wasn't defensive. He was furious. "You ruined my life." "No," I replied evenly. "You did. You think you won? You destroyed Mom and Dad. I didn't make them choose. You're not my sister anymore." That one hurt, not because I feared losing him, but because I realized he never saw me as a sister. I was a resource, a backup plan, a financial cushion. And once I stopped being useful, I became the enemy. "I hope you learned something from this," I said quietly. Then I blocked his number. The court date was set. The evidence was overwhelming. Bank records, digital trails, forgery confirmation, witness statements. Even Claire agreed to testify if needed. My parents didn't attend the first hearing, but I heard through relatives that Jake had moved back home. No Tesla, no designer suits, just debt and consequences. The settlement offer came 3 weeks later. Full repayment of my $80,000, transfer of remaining assets, admission of liability in civil court. In exchange, I would not pursue additional damages. The criminal investigation would proceed independently. My attorney looked at me. "This is your call." 3 years ago, I would have chosen peace, silence, sacrifice. But I wasn't that woman anymore. "Accept the repayment," I said. "Let the rest unfold." Because revenge, I learned, isn't screaming. It isn't chaos. It isn't destruction. It's boundaries. It's documentation. It's refusing to be the family's emotional ATM. The money returned to my account 6 months after it left. Not from success, but from liquidation. Cars sold, accounts drained, assets seized. And when the transfer notification appeared on my phone, I didn't feel joy. I felt closure. Today, I don't speak to my brother. My relationship with my parents is different, quieter, more honest. They don't ask me to fix things anymore. And I don't volunteer. Because the greatest revenge wasn't taking him down. It was stepping out of the role they assigned me. The responsible one, the silent protector, the endless safety net.
Now,
I protect myself. And for the first time in my life, that's enough. If you've ever been betrayed by family, if you've ever been told to keep the peace at your own expense, remember this. Loyalty without boundaries is self-destruction. And sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is stop saving the people who keep drowning you. If this story resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments. And if you believe in protecting your peace, even when it's hard, subscribe to Life Confessions TV for more real stories like this.